capital projects that are the bulk of that include the concrete rehabilitation at Conestoga Dam, as well as some dam safety reviews at the major dams.
Okay, I'm just wondering, because we went through the asset management plan. We're saying, well, do we have enough money to fund this, that, and the other thing? But I'm a little confused because if we seem to ramp up our spending, they ramp up theirs as well to meet their 50% requirement.
So we would increase our application to them. The applications are all scored. They have a pretty prescribed metric. Some of our major dams tend to score quite high, as well as worker safety or public safety projects also get an automatic pass. So it depends on the collective conservation authority applications and how ours rank among those.
Okay, so it's not just because maybe there might be a provincial election or anything like that.
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything further? I will call the question then. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Moving on to municipal apportionment approval. I'll put the motion on the floor and it's a weighted vote. And so Karen will go through the process. So motion that the 2025 municipal apportionment for the Grand River Conservation Authority of 13,750,000 be approved, and that the participating municipalities be assessed for payment of general operating expenses, $3,338,888. Category 1 operating expenses, $9,366,112. Category 2 operating expenses of $1,052,000. And that each participating municipal share of the 2025 municipal apportionment is calculated using modified current value assessment for the general operating expenses and the Category 1 operating expenses as per the signed memorandum of understanding for Category 2 expenses. Is that clear? I'm not even sure what I read there. Okay. So if there's any comments or questions, go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. I'm not sure what we just read there. Can somebody tell me what the city of Cambridge portion is going to be?
The municipal apportionment is to participating municipalities. So I can tell you what the region of Waterloo
Region of Waterloo would be good. That'd be a start. Yep.
apportionment.
It may not be in front of you. It's on page 61 for those who are looking for it.
Region of Waterloo. 2025 budget total apportionment for the region of Waterloo is $6,960,138.
There you go.
Anything further? Okay. If everyone's ready, then we're going to call the weighted vote. Go ahead.
Okay, through you, Chair White. I'll just go down the list. If you can please say if you are in favor or opposed. Doug Craig. Mike Devine. Jim Erb. Susan Foxton. Gord Gravette. Colleen James. Sandy Schatz. Natasha Salonen is absent. Gary Williams is absent. Pam Wolf. Dan Lawrence. Rob Shurton.
In favor.
John Challenor. Alex Wilson.
In favor.
Bruce Banbury. Gino Caputo. Kevin Davis. Christine Billings.
In favor.
Enyi Chu.
In favor.
Guy Guardhouse. Lisa Hearn.
In favor.
Jerry Smith. Sean Waters. Chris White.
In favor?
Brian Coleman. David Miller. Okay, through you, Chair White, of the members present, 100% have voted in favor.
There seemed to be a lot of enthusiasm there. So we got that through. Thank you very much. All right. So we'll move on to the next item. Cash and investment status. Motion that report number GM 012506 cash and investment status, December 2024, be received as information. Moved by John, seconded by Gord. All comments, questions? All in favor? Thank you. Foundation member appointments, that Philip Millie be appointed to the Grand River Conservation Foundation until the next annual general meeting. Moved by Sue, seconded by Brian. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Permits, that report number GM 012503, permits issued under Ontario Regulation 4124 be received as information. Moved by Pam, seconded by Rob. Comments, questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. ERO posting, that report number GM 012501, ERO posting 0198320, decision, new regulation 47424, ministers' reviews under the Conservation Authorities Act be received as information. Moved by Sean, second by Pam. Comments, questions? All in favor? Shandam, carried, sorry. Shandam, that the Grand River Conservation Authority approve an increase in the project budget for the Shandam Spillway Stop Log Gains refurbishment with BGL Contractors Corporation for the amount of $214,964.68, excluding HST. Moved by Guy, seconded by Brian. Comments, questions on this? Go ahead, David.
Do we know how much longer this would increase the length of the project?
What do you mean the length? Time of construction?
Yeah, because I know you've had to lower the reservoir for this.
Through you, Chair. The project schedule is not going to change. We're still constrained by when we have to start filling the reservoir, as well as what weather we get for the next month and a half. So we're going to take advantage of the winter weather as long as we can and continue on with the project. It won't extend the project schedule, this change.
Okay, good to hear. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything further? I will call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Current watershed, that report number GM 012505, current watershed conditions as of January 14, 2025 be received as information. Moved by, is that you, Ken? Gotcha. Moved by Ken, seconded by Bruce. All in favor? That is carried. There were no questions. I'm sorry. Were there any questions? That's carried. Sure. Go. What? Go ahead. You got something? Okay. Okay. So we're going to move into a closed meeting here. I have a motion that the general membership enter a closed meeting in accordance with the Municipal Act, Section 239 for the following purposes: litigation or potential litigation, and a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with a contractual obligation or other negotiations of a person, group of persons, or organization. Moved by Gino, seconded by Jerry. Any opposed? Oh, did you want you to be approved as circulated? Moved by John, second by Sue. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Motion that the confidential report GM 0125 CO1 be received as information with regard to the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy update. Moved by Sean, seconded by Lisa. All in favor? That is carried. Grand River Conservation Authority pools, the confidential report GM 0125 CO2 be received as information. Moved by Guy, seconded by Colleen. All in favor? That is carried. Now, before we move into the election, Lisa, you wanted to cover something off?
Yes, I wanted to double back to that agricultural appointment, and I didn't hear all of what you said at the beginning prior to us receiving that report for information. I think you did say that that GRCA would be sending a letter to the provincial government that we did not want that appointment. Did I get that correct? Chris?
Through you, Chair White. In February 2022, we were notified around that time that there was going to be an agricultural sector representative appointed. And so the board opted to send a notification to the ministry that we have fairly significant agricultural representation on our board. And so we asked that the additional member not be appointed at that time. So my understanding from Chris is that this is what staff should be sending again, a slightly modified version of this letter, just to update it, reflecting current circumstances.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, so I completely disagree with that. And I'm probably the person here that has the most agricultural experience. I have a bachelor's degree in agriculture, and I have a full-time working farm. But I think it is a different mindset. I'm here for the residents of Mapleton and Wellington North as a counselor. And I think that's different than having my agricultural hat on. There's less than 2% of people are farmers, and they maintain most of the land. I was actually looking forward to having this person on this committee. I worry I'm probably not going to be here in another, whenever my council term is up. I'm not making any friends, I don't think, in my municipality anymore. And what's going to happen when Guy is gone? Sorry, Guy. But I think that it is important that this person be on this committee. And I think it would go an awful long way within the agricultural community to maintain that collaboration. I think it's important to always have that hat on. So I'm totally opposed to sending that letter.
Okay. What we're going to do, because this has gone through, we're not going to hash this out now. We're going to bring this back next meeting and take another look at it so the board can give it a fulsome discussion. I can leave it to the new chair.
Thank you.
Is everybody comfortable with that? We'll take it into, just remember, and I don't have all the details on this. This rep isn't, I don't think they can vote on a bunch. Like, it's a bit of an anomaly. It's not a full board member, but we'll have that conversation next time. So Lisa, if you're all right with that, we'll just bring.
I'm fine with that. I applied in 2022. Now I know why no one called me back.
Okay, so we're going to bring that back. So that said, thank you. Good. All right, so I want to welcome Alicia and Emily from KPMG, the scrutineers for today, and Leslie Rich from Conservation Ontario, who will sit as acting chair for the election. Do I put this motion for? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I have a motion that the general membership appoint Leslie Rich as acting chair for the purpose of conducting the 2025 election of officers. Moved by, I'm going to Pam, seconded by Pauline. All in favor? Carried. I give a speech, but I gave it last time. So here you go.
Okay. Well, thank you, and good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here with you today. And at this time, I would like to declare the offices of chair and vice chair to be vacant. So the board is required to appoint at least one scrutineer who's not a staff or a member of the authority to assist with the elections. So further to what Chair White had indicated, please welcome Alyssa Savoya and Emily Sorrento from KPMG as our scrutineers. And thank you for attending today. I will call for a motion that the Grand River Conservation Authority appoint Alyssa Savoya and Emily Sorrentino, as scrutineers for the purpose of electing officers of the general membership. So can I have a mover and a seconder for that motion, please? So I see Lisa Hearn and Alex Wilson. All in favor? Okay, I believe that motion is carried. So the election will be conducted in accordance with the GRCA's procedure for election of officers as follows. So the election shall be conducted in the following order. First, the election of the chair, who shall be a member of the authority. Second, the election of the vice chair, who shall be a member of the authority. And just as a reminder, the board voted in 2024 to return to a single vice chair position. The acting chair, which is myself, shall ask for nominations for each position, and only current members of the authority who are present may vote. Nominations shall be called 3 times and will only require a mover. The closing of nominations shall require both a mover and a seconder. Each member nominated shall be asked to accept the nomination. The member must be present to accept the nomination unless the member has advised the Secretary Treasurer in writing or by email in advance of the election of their willingness to to accept the nomination. Due to the maximum terms for the chair and vice chair positions, in accordance with the Conservation Authorities Act, the Region of Waterloo is not permitted to run for the position of vice chair for this election. So we will now move to the election of the chair. At this time, I'd like to call for nominations for the position of chair. And a reminder that there's no seconder required for this nomination.
Nominations that were put forward before, are they still standing? So they have to be put forward again?
Through Chair Rich. Yes, we like to verbally state them so that we have them as part of the meeting and then in the minutes.
Okay.
Please
so-
restate.
So right now they don't have me as nominated because somebody has to nominate me. Okay, thank you.
So can I call for a nomination for the position of chair? Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, then I'll nominate Sue Foxton.
Thank you. Ms. Foxton, are you willing to stand for election?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll call for a second time for nomination for the position of chair.
We have Brian Coleman has raised his hand.
Okay, go ahead.
Nominated John Challenor.
Thank you. And John, are you willing to stand for election?
Yes.
That's wonderful. Okay, I'd like to call a third time for nominations. Okay. Hearing none, I'd like to call for a motion to close nominations for chair, and I will need a mover and a seconder for this one.
Mike Devine is a mover. Gino Caputo a seconder.
Thank you. And we have a vote on that, please. All in favor? Okay, that motion is carried. So at this time, I'd like to invite each nominee to speak up to 3 minutes in alphabetical order by their last name. So we'll start with John.
Thanks, Madam Chair. This process over the last week has been a terrific experience. I've had the opportunity to speak to all of but 4 members of the board. Win, lose, or draw this morning, it's been a terrific experience. I've learned a lot and appreciated the comments I've had. What has come back to me loud and clear is the members want an efficient meeting continue to be run. They're happy with the work that the current chair has done in terms of running an efficient meeting, and I will do that. I have a reputation for doing that. The second thing is board staff communications. And, you know, all these discussions were held under the cone of silence. I will just speak in generalities. But I have promised, win, lose, or draw this morning, to work with the board and staff to improve board staff communications, to look at board governance, and to look at performance management, as well as our liabilities. And we talked about one this morning. And so again, win, lose, or draw, I will work on those matters on your behalf. They need to be completed before this term is over. And you have my promise that I will work with you and staff to achieve as much as we possibly can with the time that we have left. So thanks again for the conversations. I look forward to your support.
Thank you very much, Member Challoner. Can we hear from Member Foxton, please?
Thank you very much. As a lot of you know, my heart and soul is in the GRCA. I believe in this organization and the good work they've done. Yes, communication between board and staff can always improve, but I believe our staff have the GRCA at heart and are working diligently. What is also another gamut is the meetings with the minister. And I had a very fruitful meeting with the minister on Tuesday, at which he's willing to reopen the permit situation where we're only getting 65% dollars of the permits. He's willing to reopen that and relook at it for our GRCA if we can prove that we haven't overbilled or taken extensive time to do permits. So that relationship with upper levels of a government is essential, which I already have. As you know, I've been involved with the GRCA since my teens. Love the organization, love being on the board. I have a lot of experience in chairing boards. So I just hope you'll support me. But regardless, I think that we've got two good candidates, and I commend John as well. So I hope you'll support me, and thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we are now moving to an election. For those members who are participating in person, I believe Alyssa is going to distribute paper ballots, and Emily is going to work with our online members to proceed through the election with our online members. Just a note for our in-person members, just please clearly print the name of the person that you're voting for and fold the paper and to await collection. And the virtual members, you are going to receive an online poll that you can select on your screen. And there's just, for our virtual members, there's just a bit of time as we're moving the staff out of the main room so that you can vote in privacy. Okay. As we return to the full group, I just want to check with the scrutineers to see if they've had the opportunity to tally the numbers.
It appears to still be in process.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, can I get everyone's attention? So the results for chair is John Challoner.
Well, congratulations to both who stood for the position of chair, and particularly John Challoner for your election results. We just also need to confirm that the votes were submitted anonymously and were not recorded. So the scrutineers who are holding paper ballots for shredding will send them to the accounting department following the election. So I'm going to have a call for a motion that the general membership confirms that no record of the virtual voting submissions for the 2025 election of officers for the position of chair be kept on record, and that all paper ballots be destroyed. Can I please have a mover and a seconder? So I see Alex Wilson.
Guy Guardhouse, second.
Great. Thank you. All in favor? Okay, that motion is carried. At this time, I'd just like to invite the newly elected chair to say a few words if you would like.
And I'll be brief because I need a vice chair. I just want to thank everybody for their confidence, and I fully plan to do what I said I would do. I talked actually to a couple of members this morning about the benefit of the conversation, and it's going to continue. I think that it would be a really good idea if I probably got on the phone with each of you probably every 6 months, or when you feel we need to have a conversation, we have that conversation. As everybody here, I think, understands, one of our big challenges coming out of the pandemic is communication. And we need to rekindle that relationship. And one of the ways to do that in this new world is just get on the phone and talk. And so in addition to what I talked about this morning in terms of board governance and other matters, yes, that's going to happen. You're going to be involved. We're going to have conversations, and I'll try to limit those conversations as I did last week. So thanks again for your confidence. I look forward to working with all of you the remaining 2 years.
Okay, well, thank you very much for those words. We are going to now move to the vice chair election. So at this time, I'm going to call for nominations for the position of vice chair. And just as a reminder, there's no seconder required for nominations.
David Miller has his hand up for a nomination.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Sean Waters.
Thank you. Member Waters, are you willing to stand for election?
Yes.
Great. So at this time, I'd like to do a second call for nominations for the position of vice chair.
I'm seeing none in the room.
Thank you. And seeing none as well online. At this time, I'd like to call for do a third call for nominations.
Still none in the room.
Okay. Great. So at that time, I'm going to proceed for a motion to close the nominations. So I'd like to call for that motion that nominations for the position of vice chair of the Grand River Conservation Authority general membership be closed. And I'm going to need both a mover and a seconder for this motion.
Sue Foxton, mover, and Brian Coleman, seconder.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay, that motion is carried. At this point, I'd like to announce that the position of vice chair is acclaimed, and I'd like to invite the vice chair to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Probably some of you know, I know Brian and we've been hanging around this place for a long time. I was very proud to come back onto the GRCA over the last couple of years as mayor of Centre Wellington. And like a lot of communities, we're going through a lot of growth right now. And part of our, a mandate, obviously, as a conservation authority, is to really work with the community to educate them, and as well as protect the environment and the watershed. I did mention in my bio that I'm a landscape architect, have been for over 25 years, and like to bring that skill set, obviously, to the things that we're doing. We're really in a very challenging time right now in terms of the Conservation Authority. I was back in the Peter Krause days, so I've had a long connection to the GRCA that way, and I know we're going to really be meeting a lot of challenges and that way. And I hope to obviously bring some of my skill sets as a landscape architect, working within the development community for a long time, and working with staff and the folks around the horseshoe here in terms of sort of how do we navigate these very interesting times. So again, I appreciate the support that way, and looking forward to working with you folks here, working with staff, and obviously doing our job to really highlight all the good things that we do here at the GRCA. Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, I just want to congratulate the newly elected chair and our vice chair, as well as all who participated in the election, and want to thank you very much for allowing me to participate in your election again this year. And I will pass it back to Chair Challoner.
Thanks very much. Chris has given me a really difficult job to do. So I'm going to announce our next meetings, the audit committee meeting, of course, on February the 19th. We'll be looking and approving the 2024 financials. And then, of course, our AGM on February 28th at 9:30. So unless there is anything else, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. Yes, Doug?
Well, Mr. Chair, just certainly congratulations to the incoming chair and vice chair, but also I just wanted to make some comments about Chris White and the job that he's done You know, in terms of, this is my first term here. You can't go. My first term here, and it certainly has been board meetings that are extremely well run. Okay, with a knowledgeable chair that certainly has a compassion for the job he's been doing, and certainly has been inclusive of all of us in terms of bringing us up to date in different issues. And I think also I have to thank him for those emails on the weekend asking for money. Okay, so I just want to appreciate that. I'm going to miss that. Anyways, Mr. White, Chris, thank you very much.
Sue, if you've got, you're next, and then Brian, go ahead, Sue. You had your hand up. You go ahead. Sure.
Sorry, Sue. I agree with Doug on thanking Chris, but I think we need a big appreciation, a round of appreciation for Sue for all the work she has done here for the last number of years. And I know you're going to still be sitting here at the board and you'll still be raising hell with us. So I appreciate that, and all the best.
So Sue, would you like to say something? And then Chris, would you like to say something? Good. Go ahead, Sue.
Just thanks a lot, guys. And this is a great board. I mean, being a politician, the wonderful people we get to meet and the good heart that they have and the passion. I'm honored and proud to be a part of this and to know all of you. So thank you so very much.
Chris?
I just want to thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I've been here a while now, and this board, you know, when you first got on, I thought, because all of us are in municipal governance and restaurant, some of the boards you sit on, you think, oh my God, it's going to be carpet bombing all the time. I thought, here's a peaceful little board to sit on. Just go sit there and nothing ever happens. There's nothing controversial. Holy smokes, was I wrong? There's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes and the rest of it. And I mean, I mentioned it last time. We have absolutely excellent staff. This is not a simple organization. It's 38 municipalities. Just think about that, right? And then you've got all the complexity of the job and the changing mandates. It's kind of similar to municipalities after all the downloads. The complexity and the nature of the job changed. The budgets are bigger, the demands are bigger, the population, there's a lot of stuff. So the staff are absolutely fantastic and they do a great job. And this has been a pleasure to be on this board as chair, right? Everybody gets their passions up, has their say. But at the end of the day, we all go for coffee. There's a lot of boards, and it may sound silly, not blowing smoke, that fall apart. People get personal and there's difficult issues, but that's not here. It doesn't matter how complicated or impactful the issues might be. The board worked well together. So kudos to all of you folks and kudos to staff. And it's been an absolute pleasure doing this. And I look forward to sitting here for as long as I sit here. So thank you.
And Chris, all the very best with your retirement as the warden of Wellington County. No issues there at all. So I need somebody to move and second adjournment. Moved by Rob, second by Dan. All in favor? We're adjourned. See you in a month. Thank you.
I don't know if you.